You know, I had only been at Frito-Lay for 5 years when I got my first big break. They gave me $29 million, and I'm the guy who rolled out Fantastics. Wait a minute. I'm the guy who rolled out Fantastics. Yeah, thank you. Fantastics was the biggest disaster in the history of Frito-Lay. We took it off the market in 6 weeks. You see, when we rolled it out to 30 plants across the country, including the old Lay's plant up in Chambly, in 3 weeks, so we could take advantage of national advertising, the product was inedible. We could make it in a test kitchen with 4 PhDs looking over it, but not when we rolled it out that fast. I remember the call. It came from our Senior Vice President of Marketing and Sales, well, his assistant. Mr. Korn would like to see you. And I kid you not, Frito-Lay, his name was Bill Korn. I can't make this stuff up. Anyway, I remember putting on my coat jacket and starting to walk out the door and stopped, and I looked and I saw, okay, I've got the plant, I've got a couple books, and I've got 2 pictures. I can get everything down in 1 trip. I went down to Bill Korn's office and sat down at his table, and he looked at me and he said, Mike, Fantastics didn't go so well. Now, I had only been out of Northwestern for 5 years. I was still relatively young. And you know what I wanted to say. Well, duh. But I kept my mouth shut. But then he said something that I still to this day have trouble believing. He said, Mike, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to give you another new product to roll out. I couldn't keep my mouth shut there. I looked at him and I said, what are you thinking? I just rolled out the biggest turkey in the history of Frito-Lay. Give me an established brand, something that I can prove myself with. Lay's, Ruffles, Doritos. And he looked at me and shook his head and said, no, Mike. First of all, we just spent $29 million training you. Think of that. He also said, Mike, look, you bring some interesting expertise to us. 1, you understand marketing. 2nd, you understand how to launch new products. And 3rd, you understand the Frito-Lay distribution system. Those 3 things make you unique and make you ideal for rolling out this next new product. You know, well, first of all, I was glad to still have a job, but I wasn't sure if I wanted the job I was glad to have. So I reluctantly left his office agreeing to roll out this next new product. Maybe you've heard of it. It's called Tostitos. Tostitos was the most successful food brand to be introduced in the 1970s. It was $150 million in its first year. It's now proudly one of PepsiCo's billion-dollar brands. What Bill Korn taught me is that I had a specific edge. I had something that made me unique among all the other marketing people there. And it's where these 3 things come together, marketing, new products, and distribution. That's what made me special. I want to ask each one of you, what are the 3 things that you have that are your traits, that are your qualities, that are your experiences, that make you unique, that make you special? I'll ask the same question about your company. What are the 3 things that differentiate your company from your competitors? And it's where those 3 things that intersect, if you can define them, that becomes your competitive advantage, or what I like to refer to as specific edge.